The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn is pushing back on the narrative that the Jets are not the garbage time kings. Plus, Jermaine Johnson is out there on the practice field and looks like he'll play on Sunday. The latest on the Jets, Matt O'Leary will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Baseball season in New York is over. Hockey starts tonight, and the Jets are on Sunday. Let's do it.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
the 2025 New York Jets season is officially here. Can Aaron Glenn lead the team back to the playoffs and finally deliver on the promise this roster has shown? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Real quick, before we bring on the great Matt O'Leary in his weekly spot on the show, to any Asmaniacs who are going to London, you're going to want to connect with other Asmaniacs that are there. Here's some info on some of the awesome events that are happening. Saturday at Belushi's London Bridge, 4 p.m. local time till late. You can hang out with a bunch of Jet fans the day before the game. And then you could tailgate with a bunch of great Jet fans making the trip, or people who live out in the UK at Redemption Brewery. I was there last year for the tailgate. It was a blast. So if anyone is interested, those are two events that are going down in London. Wanted to spread the word. Also, I encourage everyone to join my Patreon, get access to the Discord, especially if you're going to London, because we have a tab created for people to meet up with each other, go to different events, and connect with other Asmaniacs. So go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show, and you'll see once you sign up for the Patreon, one of your perks is access to that Discord. So just click the Discord link, join, and you will be ready to roll. Let's say hello right now to the great Matt O'Leary. Matt, the Islanders season starts tonight, so we have them because clearly the New York Jets aren't going to give us a fun season.
Yeah, I've already made the change. I'm rocking the Islanders quarter zip today. I don't know how good they'll be, but at least it'll be exciting watching some young players. Sorry about your Yankees last night. It's a tough time in New York sports. Go figure, right?
It never seems to end. But look, just like the Islanders, right now the New York Jets, they have the number one pick in the NFL draft. Although the Islanders, they got really lucky in the lottery to get their number one pick. The Jets are just bad, Matt. They are just bad.
Yeah, not quite the same. It's not like they jumped up from pick 10 or 11 up to 1. They are really bad. I don't know if they're going to actually end up with the number one pick. How they're playing though right now, it feels like it'd be surprising if they won a game. I hope that changes at some point. I don't want to see this team going 0-17. Unfortunately, not to play spoiler. I know we have a full show to do here. I don't think this is the week the win's going to come, though. I think Denver's is a pretty bad matchup for the Jets. So if you're making the trip, God bless you. You're a better man than I am, or woman than the person than I am. But still, yeah, it's tough for this football team right now, man. It really is.
Get used to it, Jet fans, because, God, we're going to be debating which young quarterback the Jets are going to take. It feels like for months leading up to April, so get ready for that discourse.
Yeah, it's coming. It's especially if they're picking that high. I know there's still a lot of Justin Fields diehards out there, and I get it. I don't think he's been horrible. He's not the main reason why they're losing games. I just don't really see a world if they finish with a top 3 pick that they don't take a quarterback, but we'll see. We'll get to talk about that for the next 6 months.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to some comments that Aaron Glenn made that have me just scratching my head, I want to tell everyone that we are giving away a Garrett Wilson jersey at the end of the show. You pick the color you want it in, but if you want to enter, you got to gift memberships or send in a $10 super chat or higher. And ladies and gentlemen, Bo C right at the start of the show got us rolling today. gifting the Asmaniac community 10 total memberships. Bo knows.
Bo knows football. Bo knows baseball. Bo knows tennis. Bo knows basketball, too.
Bo knows channel memberships.
Damn right he does, Bo. Thank you for your support. Thanks to everyone who continues to watch this show and Matt's shows, despite the fact the football team we cover is the only team in the NFL right now without a win. Now, if you look at Justin Fields' numbers, Matt, statistically, if you're not watching the games, you would say, I mean, it looks like he's playing pretty well. He hasn't thrown an interception this year. He's completing 67% of his passes. He's thrown 4 touchdowns. He's run for a couple other ones. He has 754 total yards. It's not his fault. It's all the Jet defense, right? Well, not quite. Some numbers on the Garbage Time Kings, a.k.a. your New York Jets. Their production since week 1 is basically non-existent through the first 3 quarters of games. Here's a graphic, a.k.a. a tweet from Joe Caporoso that perfectly encapsulates what we're referring to. So here's what you need to know. Since week 1, the Jets have not scored an offensive touchdown until they've fallen behind by 2 touchdowns. Since week 1, they have not scored a touchdown in the first half of a game. And everyone can see on the screen, you go back to week 2 against the Bills, they're losing 30-3 before they scored their first offensive touchdown in the fourth quarter of that game. Then you go to week number 3 against the Bucs. I was there. I melted. We all did. Anyone who was there. The Jets were losing 23-6 before they scored their first offensive touchdown in that one, also in the fourth quarter. In the Dolphins game on Monday night against a bad Miami Dolphins team, they were losing 17-3 before they scored their first offensive touchdown in the third quarter of that game. And then this past game against the Cowboys, they didn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter, and they were losing 30-6 at that time. So Aaron Glenn yesterday was asked about the perception that the offensive production, the passing stats, they're inflated due to garbage time. And Aaron Glenn said this.
And listen, I understand from the outside that people are going to say, okay, we're getting yards because I don't know if teams are. No, listen, teams play in this league, and no one wants to just give up yards. I do think we get in a situation where we start to get in the groove a little bit, and that's any quarterback. And I think Justin has been getting in the groove in that situation also. Early in the season against Pittsburgh, I didn't think that was the case. You know, some people might say it, but I didn't think that was the case. Buffalo, listen, we just got our ass whooped against Buffalo. All right. Come back to Tampa. I thought Tyrod did a pretty good job in that game. So, and I can go on and on. But I understand what the naysayers are saying. You know, I think our guys are doing a pretty good job as far as getting the passing game where it needs to be. And then we got to improve, and I know that. And we will improve in that situation. Listen, I have no issues with where we're at right now in the passing game.
Matt, first time you've heard the full comments there. Your thoughts on Aaron Glenn's comments?
Yeah, I can't say that I agree with it. Now, in week 1, sure, they were going up and down the field and scoring at will, and that was Justin Fields' best game as a pro in the NFL. Since then, though, as you pointed out with the stats, they're down big in these games, and the defense usually goes a little bit soft. Of course, they're still trying. I'm not saying that they're letting the Jets go down and score, but they're not sending as much pressure. They're playing in these softer zones, and the Jets can eat up yardage. It's not just Justin Fields. Tyrod did it too, right? So both these Jets quarterbacks have kind of taken advantage. And the positive is at least they're not rolling over and dying and losing 30-6. But, you know, you need to have some more offensive production when the game is still in reach in the first half and not let it get to a point where you're down 30-6 and then starting to score.
I mean, the idea that their offense is not garbage time inflated is just silly. You can't even argue it. Like, obviously, week 1 was their best effort of the year. They was their most complete game. They led at one point by 9 going into the fourth quarter. That was their best performance. What really concerns me is that was the game that Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers had 0 prior game film on what Justin Fields and this offense looks like with Tanner Engstrand. Now that there's film on it, it feels like teams are ready for what the Jets want to do. And even when the Jets are then having some good drives or they come out with a really good game script that's working, they either settle for a field goal or they turn it over like we saw against Miami with the Braylon Allen fumble, or late in the first half, they're driving, trying to tie the game up at 10 and Breece Hall fumbles. So Like they're beating themselves. And now that I feel like there's real film on what the Jets are going up against, it feels like that's why we've seen a massive step back, and the coaching staff hasn't been able to adjust thus far.
Yeah, they really haven't been able to adjust. That's a good point. I also think something else that you mentioned is one of the bigger reasons why they can't finish drives. They're not getting in the end zone. They're settling for field goals, which that's very hard to win in the NFL that way. And on top of it, like you had the Braylon Allen fumble 2 weeks ago, you had the Breece Hall fumble this past week. They ran the ball at will against the Cowboys. Breece had over 8 yards of carry. He was awesome, except for the fumble, which you can't just gloss over that because it's a huge play and the turning point of the game in a negative way for this Jets football team. I also think it's kind of tough when, and one of the things that, Fields, yes, he's putting up these numbers at the beginning of these games, whether it's against Buffalo where he missed Garrett Wilson over the middle of the field, this past week where he missed him for a touchdown. Like there's plays to be had on the field, and I don't think they're executing. And the penalties too, right? Like we talked fumbles. They've had a million penalties. Pre-snap penalties still an issue for this team. It costs you valuable yardage on these drives, and that's why you have to settle for 3 points and not get in the end zone.
How would you evaluate Justin Fields so far, Matt? Because we thought Zach Wilson had truthers. I mean, some of the Fields stands in my mentions on Twitter, wild, man, really is.
Yeah. Now he has played significantly better than Zach Wilson looked towards the end of his Jets tenure. And I don't think Justin Fields is horrible. I don't think he is the worst quarterback in the NFL. He's just not an average or above average quarterback. He unfortunately is too inconsistent as a passer at this point to be the guy. There was a week one, awesome, really, really good. I said it already, best he's ever looked, I think, in the NFL. Week 2, abysmal, gets hurt. The other 2 games he's played, I think it's been a mixed bag. I think he's been okay. There's been some nice moments, and there's been some, not so great moments with either misses or holding on to the ball too long or fumbles. I think he's been about as advertised. He's probably the 25th best quarterback in the NFL, and that was kind of my expectation for him going into this year anyway.
I would agree with that. I think the one thing that I had not been surprised with this Jets team in a year that has been incredibly surprising when you look at the record and the fact that the defense is historically inept, all that's a surprise. Fields has kind of played to exactly what I think most of us who were realistic thought he would be. It's also, to be fair to him, it's not like he has great weapons besides Garrett Wilson he's throwing to. Mason Taylor's starting to emerge as a tight end, which is nice, but he's a rookie. They're not putting Fields necessarily in the best positions to succeed. The turnovers have absolutely killed them and have changed the way the game flow is played out. For example, Breece scores that touchdown, and let's say it's 10-10 going to halftime. Everything's different in the second half as far as what you're able to do from a play calling standpoint. Same thing with the Miami game on Monday night. I think if Braylon Allen actually scored a touchdown, I'm convinced the Dolphins were just going to lay down and die because the Jets were going to be able to smash mouth them the entire way. I just feel like it's not all on Fields, but also if they remain this bad and they're picking in the top 3, top 5, they're going to draft the quarterback. Fields maybe he's on the team because he's under contract, but they're going to draft a quarterback that high. That's just what you do.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he starts and the rookie sits, something that they don't really do ever, it feels like. And, it's not all on Justin Fields. I don't think he's the biggest reason why they're losing games. I think it's the defense and, the undisciplined play. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's been good enough to make you want to not take a quarterback if you're up that high. If the Jets, the path to him being the guy, the Jets would have had to be 9-8 and pushing for a playoff spot. He's not playing to that caliber. He's just flat out isn't. And, it doesn't have to be he's the best quarterback in the world. It's everyone else's fault but his. And it doesn't have to be the guy stinks and can't play. There's a middle ground here, and I think he falls somewhere in the middle.
Justin Fields, he's been up and down. One thing that has been consistent, though, is that the Jets defense is downright horrific. I'll ask you the question that I know was on a lot of Jet fans' minds. If the Jets are awful on Sunday defensively, could Steve Wilks get Robert Saleh? Just like Saleh got fired after a London debacle, could Steve Wilks be Woody's sacrificial lamb for this go-around across the pond?
It's definitely possible. Woody's very reactionary, it seems, after these London games. He's got a lot of friends over there, and he cares about how the Jets look. Straight up fired, I think would be surprising. I think he could be sent to wherever Nathaniel Hackett went last year. And we kind of he's still around collecting a paycheck. What he's doing week to week, we're not really sure. I think that's more likely to happen first than a flat out firing in week 6.
Oh, man. It really is astonishing how bad the defense is, Matt. Like, I understand you could go through some of the things that has plagued them, whether it be injuries or just guys not being as good as maybe we thought. But I just think they have been so poorly coached on that side of the ball, because there are guys that are having awful years that we've seen be really good football players. Like Jamien Sherwood being unplayable is not something any of us could have foreseen. Michael Carter struggling the way he has is not something any of us could have foreseen. We all knew Michael Clemens shouldn't be on the team or Tony Adams shouldn't be out there. So it's like a mixed bag of different reasons why they stink.
Yeah, it definitely is a mixed bag. Like when Jermaine Johnson was out, their lack of depth at the edge rusher position was unfortunately on display. You called it perfectly with Carter and Sherwood. Those are two guys who should be plus starters for you that aren't. They're borderline unplayable. At the same time, I feel like it's a stubbornness with this Jets defense, because on first and second down, more often than not, they look okay. And then it's third down comes around and they just let up a big play. And I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's execution, but they just feel very stubborn with how they're calling this defense right now. I think something's got to give eventually. If Denver goes out and puts up 30, it's not like they're a great NFL off. They're okay offensively, but they're not, the Bills. They're not any, some of these other top teams in the league. It gets to a point where how are you going to keep trotting out the same unit, the same play caller when week after week they're giving up 30 points?
I mean, Denver's averaging 23.4 points per game, right? You're not playing the Rams offense. You're not playing the Bills offense. You're not playing the elite of the elite offenses. But here's the fear, right? It's Sean Payton versus Steve Wilkes. And that is a brutal coaching mismatch for the Jets. And why would anyone have any confidence that it's going to get any better in this matchup based on what we have seen this entire season?
Yeah, there isn't a reason to believe that it's going to be different. It would be sheer luck if it's different this week, because you're right. The coaching matchup, it's a gigantic mismatch. Sean Payton's a very good offensive mind. Steve Wilkes has really struggled this year and hasn't looked good. And that's a veteran staff that's making the trip over to London. That's coming off a major win, by the way, beating the defending champs on the road. Pretty impressive. And the Jets are winless, and with a rookie staff and a defensive coordinator who's the lone veteran on the staff, that stinks. So it's a horrendous mismatch for this Jets team.
Just brutal. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're presented today by FanDuel Sportsbook. Here's your look at the latest line for Sunday's Jets-Broncos matchup. Jets holding steady as a 7-point underdog in this. I'm convinced it's going to move closer to 8 by kickoff. I think a lot of the general public will be looking at the line the morning up being like, oh, wait a second. Denver just beat the Eagles and they're playing the Jets who don't have a win. Definitely going to take them. If the Jets are in this game, it's because they forced some turnovers. They gave their offense some short fields, extra possessions. Like, that's the only way you're going to win, to not have a turnover through 5 games. There's a reason why we're saying it's a historically bad defense. That literally has never happened in the history of pro football.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Like, is there a path to the Jets being in this game? Sure, but they have to turn the ball over. They literally haven't done it in their first 5 games of the year. And Bo Nix has 4 picks. It's not like the guy is not someone who could turn over the football. He absolutely can. I just have no faith that this defense is going to be the one who turns him over and takes advantage of that. They have to prove it first before we come out here and predict it or proclaim that it's going to happen. I don't buy that it's going to happen. I think they're going to run the ball well. J.K. Dobbins has been really good this year, and he'll do just enough, Bo Nix, to not lose this game. It won't be full, a 10-9 game like we saw in week 4 last year, but he'll take, all the underneath throws. He'll probably miss a couple guys wide open deep down the field like he does every week, but the Jets won't be able to take advantage because they can't turn over the football.
Some super chats here. They cut the line. Chris starts us off, and he is in our Garrett Wilson jersey raffle at the end of the stream here for 5 by sending in a $20 super chat. It's bad enough that Aaron and Tanner are lying directly to the fan base about the garbage time stuff, but let's talk about the people that followed Fields here. I've seen Nadia and Blewett have to clap back at these guys. yeah, Fields has an army of truthers. It's not to the level, I think, of Zach, and Fields is a better player than Zach Wilson. But I mean, I'm convinced the people that love Fields are people that just have him on their fantasy team or they're in and out of games. They're not actually sitting down and watching it. Because if you're watching it every week, like the true Jet fans are, you could see that while he's not their biggest problem, there's been moments where he needs to play better to elevate what they have, and he hasn't been able to do it.
Yeah, and I get like he's a fun player when he rips off the 41-yard run that he had against the Dolphins for a touchdown. There's not many people in the NFL who could do that. He's just incredibly inconsistent, and that's something I talked about in the offseason when the Jets brought him in. He's a very high variance player, and when you have someone like that, there's going to be people who hold on to those big moments for so long and say, see, he could do it. He did it in this example, this example, and this example, and just completely ignore the missed reads or holding on to the ball too long. It's not all the offensive line. Offensive line didn't play great against the Cowboys, but when your quarterback's holding the ball for 3.5 seconds, you're going to have a lot of sacks. And against this Denver defense, who, by the way, leads the NFL by a significant margin in sacks. They have 21 sacks on the year through their first 5 games. Next closest, Detroit at 16. They're going to get after the quarterback. So I don't think this is a great matchup for Fields when he does have to drop back and throw the ball.
King and Dream says Fields is just mid, my guys. I mean, that's kind of what he is. I mean, he's average, slightly above, slightly below, depending on the game. I mean, the one outlier game was he was excellent week 1, but I think, as you brought up even before the season, Matt, I think that had something to do with the fact it was all new for what this offense, what Fields would look like. And also, since that game, we haven't seen the design runs for Fields the same way. I'd like to see them roll him out more and give him a chance to either throw or just take off. I'd like to see more RPOs. And he's also made some poor decisions on when to keep it and run himself or give it to the running back. That's also been a problem, too, since that day.
It definitely has been. And I wonder if the concussion has anything to do with them not running Fields as much. But that's, if you're going to have him, that's how he has to play, because he's not a drop back passer. That's not his game. The Jets, in a perfect world, they want to run the ball, run a lot of RPOs, work the passing game off the play action. It's hard to do that when you're down early in games. So I don't know what the plan is going to be against Denver, but their opening scripts have been okay. Beyond that, they don't really seem to get going again until they're down 2 touchdowns.
Doug Developer with a super chat here. So excited for future Jets quarterback poll this Sunday. Dante Moore versus Fernando Mendoza. And no, I have zero faith in AG to develop either of them. Look, it's sad that we got to turn our attention to the quarterback bowl for the Jets potentially, but Oregon versus Indiana, both quarterbacks projected first-round guys seemingly. This is kind of where we're at, Matt.
It's must-watch TV. I think, a lot of people are going to tune into the LSU game to watch Nussmeier. John Mateer might come back this week, too, against Texas, so I hope he does, because I want to see more from him. It's not going to be AG that's on the rookie quarterback to develop him. I think it's going to be on Tanner Engstrand. I'm optimistic about Tanner Engstrand. I know the offense hasn't been great, but I think there's some things that he's doing that are exciting for a first-time play caller 5 games into his NFL career. And also, not for nothing, too, they have a good offensive line. They have a really good wide receiver 1. They could run the ball well. If they find a wide receiver 2 next year and either keep Breece Hall or find a way to get another running back in here, I actually think the Jets could be an okay landing spot for a rookie quarterback.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're talking with Matt O'Leary in his weekly spot, all things New York Jets as they get set to take on the Broncos. 9:30 in the morning, week 6. Jets lose. They're 0-6, something they have not done, Matt, since the 2020 year from hell with Adam Gase. And that team had no talent. This team looking like they're going to start 0-6. It's just flat out astonishing.
It is. I wouldn't say that I was fairly optimistic before the season. I did have them at 7 wins, which now looks way too optimistic, but I predicted them to be have a losing record. Didn't think they would be 0-6. I thought maybe they'd be 2-4 after this game, but man, it's been a really rough go for this football team, and they got to find a way eventually to win one of these games. I've said it a few times on this show. I just think this is a really bad matchup for the Jets, and I'd be shocked if this is the week.
We'll get right back to your super chats, but first, some gifted memberships. Black Gypsy is in the Asmaniac raffle for a Garrett Wilson jersey at the end of the stream for one, as is Duhan, who gifted a membership, and then a 5-spot from Ryan McCarthy. If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. Ryan made you one, so thank him. Sean Frank, Bowling Jet, Violent Warlock, Rob Bolivian, and Owen Escalatico. You're all channel members. Ryan's in the raffle for 5. And a reminder for those who are new to the show or forgot, every week on the show, we do a weekly raffle that features 3 big-time prizes. We do it every Tuesday morning. And this week's top 3 are a signed Justin Fields jersey, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey, and a signed Bart Scott jersey. So if you enter for any daily raffle during the show, your memberships also go towards the weekly raffle as well. Green Gang, the latest to support the community, he just gifted a 5-spot of channel memberships.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
Matt, wouldn't you like to see Aaron Glenn come out this week and say that the Jets had a terrible week of practice?
Yeah, the good weeks haven't translated on the field. And I loved Garrett's answer after the game this week where he's like, we can't have our best days on Thursday. We have to have our best day on Sunday here. Yeah, I wonder what a bad week of practice would result on the field. Maybe it's, bizarro world and the good weeks of practice are losses and the bad weeks are wins.
Unbelievable. Jack writes in, your London tweet popped off. So I sent this and I thought nothing of it. And I think this is the most viral tweet I maybe have ever had. So the Jets the other day, I'll pull it up. They tweeted, Matt, let's see. They tweeted, just touchdown in London town. And I responded, stay there till you win a game. And it has 1.2 million views, wow, 31,000 likes, and over 1,000 retweets.
That's awesome. It's always the ones you never expect. That seems like I laughed at it. I did see it and I chuckled to myself. I thought it was funny, but would not expect that of all your content that you put out there to be the most viral one, Jake. But congrats. That's awesome.
Yep. I mean, hopefully I get some big Elon bucks on this, which, by the way, folks, you make nothing on Twitter. It is such a scam. You get barely anything.
Yeah, you're lucky if you pay back the Twitter blue.
Right. Ridiculous. Let's see. And Jack, thanks for the super chat there. This one is from Bo. Bo C says, put Fields in situations that allow him to be successful as specified by Black Gypsy. Run the option, allow him to play free. It will change the complexion of the offense and possibly the team.
Yeah, I guess, right? But they gotta be in scripts where you can do that. They've been down a lot. It'd be nice to see them, and I'm not predicting this to happen because I think they're going up against a tough defense. But if they start with the ball and go down the field and score a touchdown, like, hey, you have a lead. All right, what do you look like playing with a lead? Because that hasn't been the case since really week 1. And I do wonder how much that would change the offense, or at least the offensive game plan at that point.
Ladies and gentlemen, Julian, the latest to support the community. He has gifted 5 channel memberships. Oh, yeah. Here's who got a channel membership from our guy, Julian. Luis Rivas, Prime Mover. It's not loading the other names here. Whatever Wizard and Tassos Manalis, plus Wesley Thompson is the 5th person there as well. This one is from Spencer Green, who says, I don't do this much, but I totally disagree with us needing a new QB. He has one weapon, and we have a top 8, I believe, rushing offense, largely due to him. He is fine. The turnovers are the problem. Well, a couple things. One is Brees on this team next year. That's going to impact your rushing offense. And 2, you could say Fields is not their biggest problem, but are you ever going to win anything with him? And when you're picking that high in the draft, how often are you in that spot where you could get a quarterback? Like, it's very hard to find the veteran that becomes available and turn them into a reclamation project. They're trying that with Fields. Like, doesn't always happen, right? We've seen the Jets do that in the past. Hasn't always worked out. So it's just kind of the reality of what happens with a new regime, assuming they're the ones that get to make the pick. They inherited the roster. They had a year without picking a quarterback. They tried it, Fields as a lottery ticket. Didn't work necessarily. So now you get your guy. That's just kind of how it works in the NFL.
I get what Spencer is saying here, but like this regime and the GM and the head coach, eventually they're going to want to take their own guy at quarterback. And if you're picking in the top 3, which seems pretty likely for the Jets at this point, foregoing that and sticking with Justin Fields, I don't know if they're going to be up that high again to take a quarterback. You hope not. I don't want to see them be, bottom 5 team in the league again in 2026. So when you're up there, you got to make it count, get your guy. You don't win anything in this league unless you have your quarterback. And while I said it earlier, I don't think Fields is the worst starter in the NFL. On his best day, he's probably the 20th best starter in the NFL. And I don't know how successful that's going to be here with the Jets with the number of other issues that they have on this team.
Look, they could trade down, get extra picks, and then still take a quarterback, or they could take a great player and then trade back into round 1 like the Giants just did for Jackson Dart. There's multiple avenues here, but if they're one of the worst teams in the league, Spencer, they're sitting there at the end of the year, not this tweet, but the Tankathon graphic here. If they're one of the worst teams in the league, they're going to go quarterback. That's just how it works.
Yeah, it would be very surprising to see them do anything else. And I get it. There are a lot of needs. They have a ton of things that they need to fix and address, but I don't think they're taking a safety. I don't think Caleb Downs is going to be the pick if the Jets are picking first overall. Matt,
what is your reaction on the Talking Jets live stream? You, Green Bean, and Ryan, if the Jets draft a safety second overall.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Our reaction for the Will McDonald pick, I think, is still our all-time, but we would have a new all-time reaction if they went safety second overall and didn't take a quarterback.
Bo C checks in with a $10 super chat. He joins the raffle for another 2 entries. What makes no sense to me is the fact Tanner's pretty good at offensive play calling. He could scheme against pretty solid defenses. So why doesn't he talk to Wilks about his deficiencies? For all we know, they are. Wilks could just be very stubborn, and the game could just be passing him by. I don't know, but I do know this. The Jets defense is by far and away their biggest problem, whereas Engstrand is not perfect, but he's a first-time play caller. Wilks is the guy who has the season's experience of being a DC, and it's been horrific.
Yeah, I was going to say, Wilks has been a DC, for four years and a head coach for a couple other years. So he's the veteran on the staff. I don't think it really works that way, even though Bo brings up a valid point. In Engstrand, I think, has been the better of the two and has had more success, and I think has a higher ceiling than Steve Wilks going forward. But yeah, I don't think it works that way. I think it's on Aaron Glenn to either say something to him or take over play calling from him at this point.
Spencer Green checks in. Call me crazy. I want Caleb Downs. Get Tony Adams the F out. I don't see any of these QBs being anything special. Maybe I just have no faith in us drafting a quarterback. I don't know. Matt, your thoughts? Spencer, down in the dumps.
I would call you crazy. And it's not anything against Caleb Downs. I think he's a very, very good player. But the positional value of taking that spot in the top 5, like the Jets don't have that luxury to do it. The Ravens took Kyle Hamilton high in the first round a few years ago. A little bit different. They had a quarterback. They had a really good roster. The Jets don't. They don't have that ability. A running back in the first round, the safety in the first round, those are what I call luxury picks. And the Jets roster is in no spot to take a luxury pick.
King Kev has gifted a membership. King Kev, you are in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. Hit the like button for those of you who are just tuning in. Make sure that you are a subscriber to the channel. If you're going to London and want to find out about all the events for Jet fans that are being planned, go and join my Patreon. Get yourself in the Discord. I want to shout out a UK-based Jet fan who joined yesterday, Ben Hambrook. He's the latest to join the Patreon and get in the Discord. Cash Money Mike renewed his membership for the year. So guess what, Mike? 10 more raffle tickets for you. Max is NYJ. Jake B. They are the 4 most recent Patreon subscribers. Thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon and allowing this show to continue to operate year round. This one is from SPS, who says Parcells once said, "Don't tell me about the labor. Just show me the baby. Win this week. That's all that matters." Prediction: Jets win 23-20 in overtime. From your lips to God's ears, SPS, I don't know how the Jets are only holding Denver to 20, but I like it, and I hope I hope like hell you're right.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I'm not as optimistic, obviously, but I hope this commenter is right. A Jets 23-20 overtime win would be really surprising and maybe give some positive vibes to the YouTube world and timeline.
Give us something, right? Give us something. Uh-oh. I'm having issues here. My mouse just died, Matt. I have no control over anything right now. This is a problem. I can't do anything. I
Not
gotta
good.
see. It just the batteries just died. So this super chat's just gonna stay up there as I need to change out the batteries.
For
Oh my
the whole
goodness.
show.
This is unreal. Hold on. I gotta get a AAA battery. A
All right.
double A battery.
We
One
got to get
second. Matt, read comments. Entertain yourself. I'll be back.
Okay, look at this. I'm taking over the show here. Gotta love it. Changing out the battery here. I also have a wireless mouse, so that has happened to me a couple times. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at the comment section here. Drop a question in there. First one we have from Bo says, if I'm AG, I'm locking Engstrand and Wilkes in a room and not letting them out until they have effectively schemed against each other with positive change. That would be an interesting exercise for both coordinators. I think it would be more helpful to Steve Wilkes than it would be to Engstrand at this point. What's Engstrand going to do? What's he going to say? Because anything that Wilkes has come up with, they've had a ton of success opposing offenses. So not really surprised by that. Ryan, I'm going to do it. I'm taking over the show. So Ryan asked it. I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, Matt, your thoughts on the Owls this year? Curious if you're optimistic about this season. I think they're going to be around 500, which is where they were a year ago, but not all seasons are built the same. Last year's was a little disappointing because of how veteran heavy that roster is. They have a young player, first overall pick in Matthew Schaefer, that I think will be appointment television every night. I think they'll be able to score a little bit more with their forward depth this year. I think without Noah Dobson on the back end, they are definitely going to have some issues there. So again, we'll see, but I think they'll be okay. And will you invite an Asmaniac to your wedding if we win this week? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. No Asmaniac to the wedding, unless you promise you're going to give a good gift. Then maybe I'll change my mind and invite an Asmaniac.
Hey, shout out to Gator, by the way, for handling the comments here. Well, I'm back, baby. We have light.
I was looking down at the chat, so I didn't even really notice until the last one. But Gator's the GOAT.
He just jumped on board to make it happen. Love it, Matt. Excellent job hosting the show there. That's why you're a pro.
Thank you.
Snake Plyskin, thank you for your 99 cents. Appreciate you. Let's get to some calls, shall we? Once again, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and Matt's channel, Talking Jets, each and every day. Go find Matt O'Leary, NY on YouTube. Let's say hello first up today to the great Kyle Clifton. Kyle, we cannot hear you. You do look great, though. And MetLife looks well lit. I think it's your AirPods, Kyle. Every time you use those things, it just gets the best of you. Kyle?
Maybe.
Kyle? No, Kyle. Call back, Kyle. Instead, we go to Black Gypsy. Hello, Black Gypsy.
What up, guys? O'Leary. Got a question for you.
What's up?
All right, so why is it whenever anyone says anything about option football in the NFL, everybody puts on stank face like they smell like beast fart? Like, what's the NFL's problem with because if I pick Fields, that's the only way Fields can be successful. Like, if Angstrand needs to literally play option because the 2-minute offense is what we play when we're actually doing good. Like, with no huddle, we just go. You add the option to that, it makes us a little bit more versatile versus having Fields drop back, because every time he drops back, I put my hands together and pray before he throws the ball. Like, I don't know where it's going to end up. I'm just like, please get it to someone. So, like, if he can't do what you want him to do, that's proven. So now we're at that point where we're 0-5. Why not just implement an option? Why not just go with Philly and Baltimore, Washington, all the teams that have guys that can run the ball? Like, go. Is there a reason why they don't like the option?
No, I think it's a good point to bring up, because if you can't have that success with him as a more traditional drop back passer, you have to get creative, and we do see teams do that. You mentioned a few right there. Like Baltimore is a great example of it. Lamar is a much better passer of the football than Justin Fields is, but they have success with it. I think just because it's more rare to see it in the NFL. You see it in college a lot, but the drop back pass is so popular in today's game. I think it kind of roasts people the wrong way. But if you don't have the guy to run it, you got to get creative and do it. So I don't mind that take at all.
So when you're talking about the defense and what Wills could do or how we're going to match up, if you watched Dallas last week with their blitz package, what they did against us, like Peyton is going to copy that and do some of what they did last week. The same weak guys that they were hitting on, Membu and Fasciano got destroyed last week. Like they had some plays where they were good, but for the most part, they got beat really bad on the line last week. So I expect to see that again this week. I just want to see him play option football because having Fields there and having drop back, the defense just can sit on us the way they want to and play a basic defense and stop him. If there's an option, like someone's going to be out of their spot because a lot of teams aren't used to the option when you're playing on D. And if you're handing the ball off correctly and reading, that's the thing about Fields. I don't know if he can read to do the option correctly because in the first game against Buffalo, he had 2 bad reads that were just like obviously bad reads. Seeing the guy come off the edge and he just got blown up in the backfield.
Yeah, it's true. Some of the times where they've run the more RPO style of stuff, he either pulls it at the wrong time or gives it to the back and they end up running right into somebody. So the offense needs to be in rhythm for that to happen. And maybe it's just something like they need to do it more. And the more he does it, the more comfortable he'll get on it. But if he is having the wrong read on it, then you're right. It could blow up and end up being a negative play and then put them in a worse situation, right? Like if you do that on first down and you hand it to Brees, it's a 4-yard loss. Okay, now it's 2nd and 14. That's an obvious passing situation. And it kind of, takes away the advantage that you had if, they were running those to some success at any kind of yards to get positive yardage on first down.
Now I'm thinking about it, I think that's the reason. I don't think it's the concussion. I don't think Fields can read the defense well enough for Angstrom to trust him to run the option because I've been wondering why they haven't done it. That's the only reason why they wouldn't. That they just don't like the option. If you get Fields, that makes no sense to me. But that's pretty much all I have.
Black Gypsy, good call. How about this from Ryan? He says, I have to wonder if it's time for Gator to make an intro for Black Gypsy. Black Gypsy becoming a regular. Ooh. Hell yeah.
I like that.
What would a Black Gypsy intro look like? Him just smoking weed and on other Jet fans in the comments?
I'm in on that. I think it'd be a great intro.
Tom D checks in with a $10 super chat. Tom is in the raffle for 2. For those tuning in late, we are going to give away a Garrett Wilson jersey because he's the only guy that is awesome on this team right now at the end of the show. Love the 9:30 a.m. game. I get to be instantly depressed right as I wake up. Don't even get to have the nice calm before the storm between 10 a.m. and kickoff. There's a couple ways to look at it. It's you get the pain out of the way, and then you can watch all the other games, or it's early and it ruins your whole rest of the day then. I don't know. How do you look at it, man?
You can't let an 0-5 team ruin the rest of your day. You have to know what's coming here. Get out of the way. I'll do my post-game video, and then I'm going to be on the couch for 7 hours just watching Red Zone the rest of the day. I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I'm on the air for the beginning of this game because I do a weekly show Sunday morning from 8 to 12. And the last 2 international games, the fourth quarter was just starting when we got to noon. So I'll have 3 quarters of having to watch this bleep show while doing a radio show with a guy who assisted in hiring this head coach who's probably going to be 0-6. So it's going to be a little awkward on Sunday for me and Mike Tannenbaum if the Jets are getting their asses kicked like many expect them to.
That's a really tough spot for you to be in. I don't know how you handle that necessarily with Mike T, but I'm interested to see how you pull it off.
Oh, I'm just going to give it to him if the Jets are getting killed. Like, there's no other way around it. I mean, this is a joke. I don't want to have the conversation, but the Jets are 0-5 and they look inept. So that's where things are headed. What's the scenario where Aaron Glenn is actually 1-0 in your mind?
If they are winless, if they're 2-15 and like in their 15 losses outside of Pittsburgh, they're getting blown out every week. If there's a experienced head coach that becomes available that's actually interested in coming here with the number 1 overall pick, if like Stefanski gets fired or if Harbaugh from the Ravens gets fired, maybe, but I don't think you fire Aaron Glenn just to fire him and then hire another first-time head coach after that.
If you move on from Glenn, you have to bring in someone that is like an offensive genius or someone proven. Like, you can't do the first-time DC nonsense again. We can't do this again.
No, and I don't think I'd even want to fire Glenn for like the wonderkin first-time head coach, offensive coordinator, because even that's proven. Even that's still an unknown. But if it's like different conversation, Harbaugh's had a ton of success in the NFL for 20 years. Kevin Stefanski, his teams stink all the time, but it's because of the quarterback issues, and I feel like he still gets a lot out of him. I think he's a good offensive mind. That's a little bit two-time coach of the year winner. Like, that's obviously very different. But yeah, if they somehow win 4 games and are 4-13 and have like the 5th pick, I don't think they're making the change. If they have the first overall pick and there's veteran coaches available that are interested in coming here, then yeah, maybe that's what actually does it and gets Aaron Glenn fired.
Well, the guys that we know are potentially available, Mike McCarthy, Brian Flores, like, they're out there for sure. John Gruden, they're out there. I would be very interested in Stefanski if they actually fired him in Cleveland. Like, that guy is a proven offensive talent. He's been a 2-time coach of the year. I think he's a good coach. You go to the playoffs twice in Cleveland, that's not nothing. Like, you could go to if you could take the Browns to the playoffs, you can get the Jets to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he got there with Joe Flacco as his quarterback, and not like 2010 Joe Flacco. We're talking about like that was what 3 years ago that he did it. I think it's been a really tough situation, and all things considered, there in Cleveland. I think he's gotten a lot more out of that team than people have expected. I hope that Aaron Glenn and the Jets start to figure it out, and they're better over their last 12 games. I don't want to see Aaron Glenn go one and done. I think that'd be pretty disappointing, but if you're talking about what is the scenario it happens, they go winless. They have the first overall pick. There's a veteran available who's, had success in this league. It's going to get really tempting at that point.
If Harbaugh were to ever be fired and he bottomed out, that's the guy. Blank check. Get him. Come on.
Oh, easily. But would he want to come here is the question, right? Like, you don't.
If you have the number 1 pick, he might, if he likes one of these quarterbacks.
If he likes one of these quarterbacks, absolutely. And I would love for him to come here. I would want John Harbaugh in that situation. If you fire Aaron Glenn, you try to lateral move, in my opinion. But again, if you can get a proven head coach in here, different story.
Some super chats here. Let's see. This one is from Tom, who says, "You're right, Matt. It shouldn't ruin my day, but it will. They'll find a way to make this one more brutal than the last. They always do." What would be more brutal? Another just ass kicking or actually losing close?
Losing close would be a little bit more disappointing because you would think, oh, this was their opportunity to get one. But I think I'd feel a little bit better if they kept it close. I'd be like, oh, they actually kind of kept it close. That's surprising. If they lose like 30-6, I think that's about worst case scenario. And it's going to be just, when is this ever going to change? So I'll take the blowout as being worse than a close loss.
Fiore in the house. He's in our Garrett Wilson jersey raffle for 2 with his $10 super chat. Fields is a good QB2 on a good team. I'm worried about drafting and developing our future quarterback. Charles London quarterback coach track record isn't great. The risk with Aaron Glenn in this regime is another Sam Darnold. That's why, Matt, I think if they're picking number 1 overall, you got to get rid of you got to clean house. You can't take a chance on ruining another young quarterback. You're the Bears. It's like you're keeping Eberflus for another year for what? Like, you know how that was ultimately going to turn out? No. Like, you're just delaying the inevitable at that point.
Yeah, it would in a way feel like you're delaying the inevitable. I will say, I said it earlier in the show, I think there's a world where the talent on the field could be okay for a young quarterback. They have the makings of a good offensive line. They have a really good number 1 receiver. They run the ball well. I like Engstrand. I think there's some positives with him as a play caller. They need another wide receiver in here. If they can address that, I think it would be a better situation than Zach Wilson was in. I think it'd be a better situation than Sam Darnold ever played in. So there's a chance. They just have to make some tweaks to this team.
Vinny says, whatever happened to June the GM? He just disappeared. It's a great point, Vinny. I have not thought about that. June the GM, if you're out there, we miss you. Maybe he didn't get the Jets GM job and he was so crushed he stopped calling into my show. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. That absolutely could be it.
Let's see. Bo C in the house. He says, if everybody's so afraid of the option and steadfast on staying in single back shotgun formation, can we at least use the counter and occasionally use the read option from that set? A fair compromise. I agree. Look, I think they do themselves a disservice when they're not giving Justin Fields multiple plays per game of design runs for him. Like that's his superpower. And some of his biggest runs have been just scrambling, not drawn up for him to be able to use his legs. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I think it is a mistake too. That's part of the reason why you brought him in, right? Is because of how good he is rushing the ball. And he's had a couple broken plays that have ended up turning into big plays and even touchdowns like we saw in the Miami game. I'm not saying you have to do it every play, but maybe 5 times a game you have a designed run for him at some point.
I mean, like just even if it's just like quarterback power or something, man, like brutal. Joe says Fields is not a problem. He's not a solution. Yeah, I don't think he's the biggest reason why they're winless. I don't think he's god awful, right? Like he's probably average to below average. He's a guy that I think in a good spot you can win with. He was 4-2 in Pittsburgh last year. Really well coached team, good defense. They won. We're seeing that he's not good enough to elevate you. And if you're ever going to win anything in this league consistently, you need that quarterback. And I don't think he's that guy. So that's why I think they're going to end up drafting someone in the first round.
I think Joe has a really good comment here. He's not the problem, but he's not a part of the solution either, which kind of makes your answer obvious what they have to do at the quarterback spot.
Big fella says, I may be in the minority, but I want to see what Tanner Engstrand can do with a rookie QB that can actually throw downfield. Well, there is a scenario where the new coach would retain Engstrand. Rex Ryan came in and retained Schottenheimer, so there is precedent for something like that. If they fire Glenn, hypothetically, right, and no one's rooting for that, if they hire an offensive coach, you'd imagine he's going to be the one calling the plays for the rookie quarterback. That's part of the reason why you'd hire that coach. Like Ben Johnson's calling the plays in Chicago. Like if you hired Cliff Kingsbury, let's say, you're bringing him in to be the play caller for the young quarterback. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that would be the whole point. You're right. And I don't necessarily disagree with Big Fellow's comment. And I know it's only 5 games and the offense hasn't been perfect, but I think there are some things that Engstrand's done really well. I think he has a good opening script, and that comes from studying throughout the week against your opponent and seeing what they do well and what they don't do well. And unfortunately, there's been times this year where players have been open and Fields or Tyrod either A, doesn't see them, B, holds on to it too long and is late, or overthrows the ball. So I think it's kind of getting some 2022 Mike LaFleur vibes at times when you watch back the All-22, because I know the receiving core outside of Garrett isn't great, but their guy's open. So a better quarterback finds them.
Mello Washington. Carmelo, he's in the raffle for 1. Oh, yeah. Corey Babcock, you're the recipient, I see here, of that gifted membership. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls. We tried this guy earlier. We saw him. We couldn't hear him. Let's see if we could do both this time. Kyle Clifton. Hello, sir.
I think you can drop that great Kyle Clifton until I can get right with my technology.
We hear you now, so fantastic.
The Yankees, first of all, very disappointing. I think on paper that they had a team for a deep run, especially considering what they had showed over the last month and a half or so of the season, last 5 weeks. Those opportunities aren't going to come along every year. Judge is going to start to show some age and some degradation at some point.
And he had the best playoffs of his career, and you couldn't take advantage of it. And the guys that you were counting on, like Stanton to always be there, he was down. Bellinger didn't hit. Jazz was terrible. Volpe shouldn't even have had a bat last night. It's disappointing, man, because we've seen them lose that exact way in the playoffs so many times in the Aaron Boone era, where the bats just go silent and they make a catastrophic mistake on defense, and that's exactly what happened last night.
Yeah, guys that they brought in to be ancillary pieces like Jazz and Devin Williams, they just didn't perform, and it's really, really hard. As far as the Jets go, I think we're seeing a lot of the same stuff that we saw with Saleh, except kind of in a different direction with regards to the media. I think Glenn is another guy who can't get out of his own way. With Saleh, he was going out of his way to kind of talk about injuries and, give as much information as possible, but he probably shouldn't have been doing that. And Glenn is being more adversarial, and it's creating this whole thing of, noise around the team that doesn't need to be there. If you think about it, like when they say stuff like, well, this is, smoke and mirrors, we're not really doing anything on offense, that it's probably true, but you could keep it very simple and say, if it wasn't for these fumbles and these mental mistakes, I think that we would be able to put more points on the board, and that would in turn, prevent some of the scoring opportunities for our opponents, and we'd be in these games. It's just a little frustrating. These guys get hired for these first-time positions, and this is supposed to be the easy part of it, is dealing with the media and not creating an adverse same old Jets attitude around the team that kind of permeates and snowballs. Like, you think that Woody's not aware of that perception? You think that the booing fans, the people not renewing their season tickets, don't influence the course of the franchise? It does. And, it's going to lead to these guys getting fired when they don't really have a chance to put their program in. So I'm hopeful, because we all love Aaron Glenn. I'm hopeful that he can right the ship. I'm hopeful that he can do some stuff with this defense that can make it a little bit closer to what we thought it might be in the beginning of the season. But we've seen nothing to do that so far. And I think that just making excuses and, talking about accountability and not, following through on accountability, that's just going to hasten his demise. And that's basically all I had. I appreciate your time, guys.
Kyle,
Thanks,
well
Kyle.
said. I mean, they got to show improvement, man. We're not asking for much. Like, the bar was low, and that's why there's so much angst and anger in the fan base, because they are as bad as any team we've seen in the last 25 years. Like, literally, no Jet head coach has started 0-5 before. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think there would be signs of the 2020 Jets going into this season. Like, I didn't think they'd be a very good team, but I also didn't think they would be this bad and still looking for their first win of the year as you're reaching mid-October. It's tough. And for a fan base that has gone through a long playoff drought like the Jets fan base has, their patience is thin. So I do when Glenn says that we got to be patient, I understand it to an extent, but you got to show us something too at the same time to give us a reason to believe that things are going to get better.
Mellow Washington, back to back, belly to belly, another gifted membership. All right, let's do one more call with Matt. I'll stay on for the rest. Doug on the bed. Hello, Doug.
Guys, I'm going to suggest something so crazy it might get me sent to the shadow row. What if, now hear me out, what if the Jets forced a turnover?
I mean, look, are you nuts? Are you out of your mind?
Did they ever force a damn turnover?
I mean, I know, like, it's only a small part of football. Like, why would we be able to do that? No, this sucks. Like, all my sports teams, like Yankees, I knew that was coming. You knew that was coming probably too, Jake. It's the same crap, different year with the Yankees. They're never going to change unless, like, there's wholesale changes in the organization. The Jets suck. The Rangers sucked the other night. The only good sports team I root for is the college hockey team. Why can't I have good sports teams?
Who's your college hockey team?
Quinnipiac.
Ah, that's right. The really the go-to team in Connecticut, I guess. Like them and like UConn basketball.
Yep. But yeah, no, sports team sucks. This is depressing. I mean, I thought we'd be competitive. And I agree with you guys. Like, the only way what one and done happens is if it's like a complete and utter, like 0-17, 0-18, whatever the record would be. I don't even care anymore. It's like, I just want to watch a Sunday and not be depressed after it. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask for. Life already has me depressed for multiple reasons. We don't need to add football on top of it.
It's tough, man. I think that's what hurts so much about the Jets. Goes back to what we were just saying. We didn't have the highest of expectations. If we just saw improvement, if we saw a team that was well coached, that was enough. Because being well coached would lead to a couple wins right now. They probably, let's say Mike Tomlin's coaching the Jets. I think they might have 2 or 3 wins. I don't think that's crazy.
if every game went like week one, like if every game was, I'm not saying like the result, but played like they were week
Right.
one, you'd have 2 wins right now.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's what we were expecting, every game to be like week one. Like we were expecting close games. We were okay with the losses as long as it was like a competent football team and they cut out all the bull crap from last year. But they haven't done that. Like, do the refs ever call us? No, but like it's the procedural stuff that keeps happening. The ticky-tack stuff, we're never going to get those calls. It's just we got to stop complaining about it. But that's what we do as Jets fans. But the procedural stuff and the crap that can be fixed, it's not getting fixed. And it's like, what why does it seem like every time we get every decision wrong? I don't get it. I don't want to wish death on it. Do we just need Joe Namath to die? Is that what needs to happen?
I hope that's not the reason. I don't want to see Joe Namath go.
No,
but
I don't either.
Doug, don't do this, Doug. How dare you? Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it. The Namath people that think that like he's got to go for the Jets to be like, come on, man. It's the worst.
Please win games so we don't have to wish death upon Joe Namath. I don't want to have to stoop to that level.
Oh, just like this. We are so damaged, man. We really are. We are so damaged. We had a Big Cho cameo on hold, but he just dropped off. So, on that note, Mr. O'Leary, what can we expect on Sunday? Give us a final score for Jets and the Broncos.
I have the Broncos 30-16. I just think the Jets offense is going to struggle against a team that gets a ton of pressure and gets sacks on the quarterback. I think they'll be able to do enough offensively, and I just have no faith that the Jets defense can hold anyone under 30 points right now. It doesn't matter that they're not an explosive offense. I think, they're a better coach team. Sean Payton's, has a veteran staff. The Jets are still looking for their first win. I don't think it goes well for the Jets on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong. I hope, like that other commenter said, 23-20 overtime win. I hope he's right, but I think the Jets have a double-digit loss on Sunday.
Should the Jets stay in London until they win a game?
Yes. Maybe forever, honestly, at this point, but yes.
Oh, man. Well, let's go Islanders tonight, Matt. Here we go.
LGI. Thanks for having me, Jake. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt O'Leary, go subscribe to his channel. One of the greats talking Jets with us. Paul, in the raffle for one. Open phone lines. If you've never called in before, you get 2 raffle tickets when you call in. And not only are you playing to win a Garrett Wilson jersey at the end of the stream today, but Bart Scott Can't Wait signed jersey, Sauce Gardner signed jersey, and a Justin Fields signed jersey are the top prizes. This super chat is from Big Country, who says, I think it'd be nice if we get an experienced head coach and Glenn stuck around for the head D-line coach. Things that will never happen for $1 billion. This. If Aaron Glenn is not the head coach, he's done. You're not going to keep him around. That will never happen. He's either your coach or he's not. It will never happen. Big fella, there could only be one man on the bed. That's me. Paul Tex, I already shouted out Paul. Oh, here we go. Anthony Lozerato, who I know just like me is down in the dumps about our Yankees, but he's still paying it forward for the community. He just gifted 10 channel memberships. Let's go.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Anthony, thank you. We got you down. Here are the 10 people who just got a membership. Grapes Gone Wild, Donnie Budden, Pat Morgan, Stephen James, Packers Gamer YT, Staten Island Joe, Aaron Glenn, please win a game challenge, Captain Kebbles, Judah, you have gonorrhea, Alan, Brian, hey, it's Cray Cray, all receiving memberships. I just thought of this, by the way. I was at the Yankee game last night, and I kid you not, this was completely unplanned. I ran into Tanky V. He was sitting like a row in front of me and a couple seats over. Hilarious, of all the people. And I was heckling him. I said, Tanky V, you're getting your wish. So shout out to Frankie, who did get a video of me like nervously stuffing popcorn in my face watching this disaster last night. Brutal. Kahuna says, I hear Belichick's looking for a job. Isn't it great to see that guy be exposed for the fraud he is? Can't win a damn thing without Tom Brady. And has any coach of that caliber, any all-time great sports figure, stained their reputation more in the last 5 years than him? Think about it. He's completely altered his perception. He should have just retired after New England. It's only gotten worse. He will not survive the year then. The fact that the school is putting out statements that, oh, he's still there. He's still committed. When there's rumors of him talking about a buyout, it's over. You talk about people being whipped. Oh. Dave Brigga says, the only way I would no longer be a Jets fan if they actually did move to Red Coat Nation. Speaking of Red Coats, the movie The Patriot, phenomenal film. W. Gresh says, let's go Devils. They in action tonight too? I think they are, right? I know the Islanders played tonight. The Rangers played the other night. They lost to the Penguins. Devils are playing the Hurricanes later, so hockey's back. Knicks are coming back soon too. Knicks start, and I'm now fully convinced the Knicks are going to be winning their first game before the Jets win a game. Knicks play the Cavs at home on October 22nd. Jets play the Panthers on October 19th. If the Jets don't win that game, I'm convinced the Knicks are getting a win before the Jets do. Rick Kent says, I haven't heard the term red coat in decades. That's what Dave Brigga brings, baby. New Q says, Charles plays the American who fought for the British. God. You know, speaking of Charles, he really has some nerve, that phony.
My fellow New York Jets fans, it is about time I come and tell you, consider the fact that the New York Jets continue to give us the same abominable product year in and year out, I'm officially boycotting this fucking franchise. I have chosen to adopt the Indianapolis Colts as my team this year because they're playing very good football. They're listening to their coach. They're not making stupid decisions. There are certain fans of mine that are calling me a traitor, but guess what? I don't care. I'm a grown-ass man. For anyone, including my friend Jake Asman, tough titties. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.
Tough titties, huh? Oh, yeah?
Hello, everybody. The Jets ended up losing to the Cowboys 37-22. This team sucks. I'm officially announcing that for the remainder of the season, I have chosen to adopt the Indianapolis Colts as my team this year.
Used to bleed green, now you shoot when the smoke come. Talking like you're solid, but folded when the lows fun. Ain't no love left, that bridge already burned. Seen the envy in your eyes, respect never be returned. Had your back, now we toasting to your downfall. Soldiers on for ending, now you burn what Daniel Jones saw was found. But the green turn your mowers to blue. Now I love bro, solid bitch, that's on you. You was frontin' on the channel, acting built for this grind. But your heart paper thing could never handle the line. You was hungry for the fame, we stayed loyal to our roots. Now your name mean nothing, motherfucker is the boot. Try to bite the hand that fed you, now you lived in the dirt. We cut, that's clean, karma handled the work. Traded truth for trends, got exposed for the fraud. Drowning pony shit as maniacs, marching on flaws. The Jets, you ain't nothing but a quitter. Calling in the YouTube shows from the shitter. Talk like a boss, but your backbone splinter. Don't be your name, just a keyboard hitter. Left the Jets, you ain't nothing but a quitter. Calling in the YouTube shows from the shitter. Talk like a boss, but your backbone splinter. Don't be your name, just a keyboard hitter.
It's about time I come and tell you, consider the fact that the New York Jets continue to give us the same abominable product year in and year out. I'm officially
there.
Going to succeed this year. I have chosen to put the Indianapolis Colts as my team this year. There are certain fans of mine that are calling me a traitor, but guess what? I don't. I'm a grown-ass man. For anyone, including my friend Jake Asman, talk titties. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk titties.
Jet Johnny, shout out to you for that track, taking down Gorman. That phony. Go be a Colts fan and ride on your horse, you bum. All right, let's get back to your calls here. Reminder to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Our goal is to get to 50,000 by the end of the season. I do not think that is possible, though, because the Jets aren't good enough. That's honestly the reason. Because when the team wins, that's when we experience the most subscriber growth, or when there's real tangible news. And we're 0-5, probably 0-6. So I don't think we're going to get there. We couldn't even a 7-10 season. I think we would get there. I don't know if we're getting there, but we'll do our best. Joe the Jet is next up this segment. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Jake. It's been a pretty rough season, huh? I mean, it's been pretty bad.
I was unaware.
I mean, yeah, it's been bad. I didn't know Charles Gorman sort of changed flags there, man. That's shocking. I mean, that's insane. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of looks like a Colts fan. Not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna lie. This team is in such disarray right now, and I mean, I said this back in May that this team's a 3-win team, and I got a couple of flack from that. Because everyone was predicting 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins. There were people there saying that they were going to win 10 wins this year. I might have been too kind on that statement of them winning 3 games this year. They might just win 1, honestly, if I'm being way too kind. The coaching has been, let's be honest, abysmal. And I said in the comments earlier that Justin Fields isn't the problem, but he's not the solution neither. Strictly for the fact of, yes, he has amazing stats, not amazing stats, but he had decent stats in garbage time. But when it matters the most during the game, you don't see it. Like he's not elevating the team. He's not elevating the offense, like any other quarterback, would do. And honestly, it's just, there's something missing with him. I can't really explain it. There's something missing when it comes to when you look at other franchise quarterbacks. There's just something that's not there. His pocket awareness is not particularly great. He misses wide open wide receivers left and right when it matters the most. But when you notice this in the fourth quarter, when the defenses start to back down because the Jets are already down by like 3 freaking scores, he's starting to pull up stats left and right. He's starting to stat pad. So I'm not looking at this, narrative that, he's the solution either. There's some Jet fans out there saying oh, we still have a quarterback. We don't need a quarterback. That to me is insane. And if you're picking number 1 overall, everything is a problem. To the quarterback, to the defense, to the offense, to the special teams, to the coaching, everything is a problem. So if the Jets are picking number 1 overall, if there is a coach available, like you said, that, is experienced, the Jets have to make that move. But I don't think there is going to be a coach available this offseason. I have a weird feeling that the Browns are still going to keep Stefanski after this weird season that they're having. I still think the Ravens are going to be stubborn keeping Harbaugh. I don't see.
But if you win 2 games, I don't really care who's available. I know we don't have the guy, and I'm moving on. That's the reality.
That's the issue though. Because if there's no, not a lot of experienced coaches available. I mean, the only one I can sort of think of is Mike McCarthy. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mike McCarthy. Yes, he's better than what we've had in the past, but he doesn't move the needle in the elite the
Who
elite
cares? Who cares?
coaches category.
He gets teams to the playoffs when his quarterbacks have stayed healthy. Guy won 12 games in a row, 3 straight years working for Jerry Jones.
I mean, I can buy that for a second. I can pay for a 12-win season any day. But, there's this sort of narrative that, that Mike McCarthy just can't get it done in the playoffs. And
well, here's what you have to think about, though, Joe, right? Okay. The Jets can't be thinking about a guy that could get it done in the playoffs. You're in hell right now. I said this in the offseason. This is why I wanted someone with experience. You need someone seasoned that comes in, has done the job at a high level, so you could resurrect your friend. You can't, like, heaven is the Super Bowl or deep playoff runs, however you want to word it. We're not even, like, in purgatory. We're in hell. You got to get out of the depths of the Earth's core. Like, you have to find a way to, like, make your franchise respectable again, have a winning season, start to develop a winning culture. Glenn's trying to develop a culture. You can't do it unless you win games like that. Let's see. Nate actually made a good point. Jets need to hire Tom. But Mike McCarthy would be Tom Thibodeau in this scenario. Maybe he's not the guy that's going to win you a championship, although I think he should have got this year with the Knicks to prove that. But that's besides the point. Like, Thibodeau, everywhere he's gone, he takes over, he raises the floor of your franchise almost right away. Like, that's the type of coach that they need if they are going to one and done Aaron Glenn, which I hope like hell it doesn't get to that point because they show improvement, win some games, and we're not talking about the doomsday scenario of having to do that.
Yeah, no, when you're thinking the thought of this franchise needs to go baby steps through the process of playoffs, then playoff success, then Super Bowl. Because this franchise has, for the past 15 years, has not shown any consistency, whether that being winning or making it to the playoffs anyways. So I do get the thought process of baby steps, but, I'm more impatient than any other Jet fan in this earth. I want playoffs and then playoff success with it. So I'm a little impatient in that sort of regard. I mean, I was 9 years old the last time this team was in the playoffs. I'm 23 now. Think about that. That's embarrassing. This team has wasted my elementary school years, my middle school years, my high school years, and my college years, all wrapped up into one horror section of just terrible football. I mean, it's just at some point, like, something's got to give, and sometimes a blind squirrel has to get a nut, and one day this team needs to be good, whether that be with a new head coach like Mike McCarthy, like you said, or whether Aaron Glenn pulls off a freaking miracle next year. If, the Jets are, thinking like he can be this Dan Campbell type of coach and turn it around, which I don't really see that.
Gator says you look 43. Are the Jets killing you?
Yes. They are zapping the life out of me. I'm not going to lie. To be perfectly honest, just I read a report. I think someone did a case study about bandwagon fans and how their mental health is better off than with fans that root for terrible teams. And it turns out the mental health for people that root for terrible teams is not great. And the article sort of suggests that bandwagoners sort of have the right idea. I'm not a bandwagoner. I'm not going to do that type of stuff.
Charles Gorman is.
I am a masochist. All right. That's why I'm a Jets fan. We're all masochists. All right. We all just hate ourselves at the end of the day. But we love this team and we're going to ride with them through thick and thin. But Charles Gorman, I'm not going to lie, he kind of has the right idea and he kind of doesn't want to get mentally depressed. But we're all masochists. We all love this team to death. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to sort of call it here. But thank you, Jake, for letting me go on and rant and rave about this team and talking about hopefully one day this team will sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, this team is wasting my life. So, but, one day it will work out. Then again, that's the craziness of the Jet fan. We all say one day, but it never comes, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe the Jet.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
Love the passion, Joe. Hang in there. Now, Spencer Green's super chat was when we were talking about Gorman. He says, get this bleep bag off the screen. To hell with Charles. Charles Gorman has a lot of work to do to win back over the Asmaniac community after this Colts fan stunt he's pulling. Unbelievable. Stu writes in, Jets need Herman Boone. Coach Boone, man, one of the greats. One of the best fictional, well, not fictional, it's based on a true story, but Denzel's portrayal of him was one of the best movie coaches of any sport. Indy says Charles losing his number 1 seed. He might. Bill Clinton checks in. Charles set up a GoFundMe for a trip to Indy. Jerome says, I'm convinced I did something really horrible in a previous life to be punished like this. A lot of takes. All right, reminder. Show's going to wrap soon. Last chance to get in our Garrett Wilson jersey raffle. Also last chance to call and get on the show. Like Jordan, who's up next today. Hello, Jordan.
Oh, shit. What's good, Jake? Did you watch the game last night?
Which one?
The Yankee game. What do you mean? I don't see your Yankee gear on.
Oh, you mean the game I was at? Yes.
Oh, you were there.
I was, yes.
I'm sorry you had to see that in person, bro.
It was not fun.
Yeah, I didn't.
Not totally
think so.
surprising, but it was not fun.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends at work were all pissed off, too. They were trying to leave. But I just wanted to get on here and bust your balls about the Yankees. That's all. I have no
That's all you
Jets
had?
take.
That's it?
Yeah.
Who's your
I have
team?
no Jets take. There's nothing to talk about the Jets about right now.
Who's your baseball team, though?
Honestly, Jake, sorry. I just started watching baseball. I always liked baseball, but I didn't start watching it until about like 3 years ago.
So you're a
I kind
Yankee
of
fan,
root
Met
for the
fan?
Phillies. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, the Phillies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your season's alive for probably one more day as well.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Although the Dodgers bullpen is terrible, so who knows? Jordan, thank you. What a brutal call. This call's in just to troll me. Mike Perez checks in. Charles fumbled the first seed worse than Sanchez. Hey, now. Mike, your $10 super chat puts you in the raffle for 2. Peter Castro wants to call in. We'll get him the call link. Even though Castro, it is pinned in the chat. Ryan says this is the 3rd time in 4 seasons Yankee season ended to their playoff opponent in Yankee Stadium. And I've been in person at the last 2. Kahuna says, how do you get in the raffle? There's 2 ways to enter, Kahuna. You could gift the community a channel membership, and for every membership you gift, like Paul, for example, he entered for 1. Anthony entered for 10. Or because people watch from their phone or iPad, and it won't let you gift a membership unless you're on a computer, you could do what Bo C did, send in a $10 super chat. That's the minimum, and it will get you 2 tickets. You send in a $20 super chat, you get 5. So you get an extra one for $20. Trying to incentivize people to support the channel. 50 is 10, 100 is 20, so on and so forth. Joe says, as a Met fan, I say to the Yankees, welcome to Cancun. That's fine. I'd rather get there and have the chance than not. That's the bottom line. Mets had the highest payroll of all time. It missed the playoffs. That's an embarrassment that is now part of the franchise dark history. You talk about 07 and 08. Now you throw 2025 in there. So Peter Castro says, call in, not chat. Well, 100%, Peter. The link is in the chat. It's pinned. I just posted it for you again. Remove the poll. You'll see it. Cynthia W. She's ready for the Knicks season. She just gifted a membership. It went to Listener LA. Cynthia, thank you. Addison says Charles might have lost the Asmaniacs, but he won a shot with Rebecca Ellen last night. Hey, now. I don't believe that. More of your calls, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say hello to the champ.
The only thing better than Alden shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my man. Jake, the myth, the legend. Jake Asman, what's up,
Mr. Bonesy? How we feeling?
You know, I just want to start off by talking about the reason why we're feeling at rock bottom and almost why the 0-5 feels worse than it could have, because Glenn promised us things in the offseason. He came in swinging. He's the one that put the pressure on himself with the way he acted during the offseason. Like every call that I made, Boomtown could quote me every single call throughout the training camp. All I would talk about was the cojones on Glenn and all the bravado and he was acting like we were going to get how Liam Cohen is with the Jaguars. We were going to get a team coming out and winning games and being in these games, and or at least how the Bears are playing, where they just look like a different team, a different coach team. No.
Or do you remember when Sean Payton said those comments about how bad of a job Hackett did in Denver? It's like, well, that's Sean Payton saying that because he, has won a Super Bowl, has been one of the best coaches in the league for a long time. And like Glenn was talking like, oh, like this is going to be easy. I'm taking over a team that has talent. He's talked about that talent. He's talked about coaching these guys up and getting more out of them. And it's been incredibly disappointing because everything he has said, nothing has come true thus far.
So true. That is why I'm so low, because I came into the season with a little bit of, of course I didn't believe in the quarterback. I didn't believe in what he did when, like you're no matter, I don't care what you say about Aaron Rodgers and who you like, we would all trade what's going on right now with the way we're losing games, shooting ourselves in the foot, for last year's losses where we were literally blowing them at the end of the game, blowing leads, losing games in the fourth quarter with under a minute when we had leads. Like, if you're telling me, if you could really tell yourself that with Aaron Rodgers being here, also solving the wide receiver 2 issues with Devontae staying, that we would just be in better hands with a veteran Hall of Fame quarterback who could at least, maybe not help Glenn because, Glenn's a defensive coach, and that's where we're struggling most on the defensive side of the ball. But I just, yes, we've had times this year where we've dominated the line of scrimmage. The offensive line has looked completely different than what we've seen in terms of running the ball and controlling the point of attack. But it's more about Glenn and his bravado that he came into the season, giving us a little bit of hope and expectations, and then just telling us what he's working on with the tackling and the fumble, the turnovers and getting turnovers, and nothing has changed. That's what's really eating us up. And I don't see, if he would have came in and said, hey guys, look, it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get adapted to our scheme on defense. If he would have started with the Lego bullshit and the building blocks and the instant coffee, if he would have started that before we lost the games, we would have had a little more patience. But he came in talking shit, man. I was every call I made was like, yo, Glenn's cojones, man. This guy is swinging things. He is ridiculous. So that's why he's got, and he still seems like he's in control, and he hasn't like panicked. I don't believe the players have panicked. I don't believe the players are, down on their luck. And I don't think that the locker room is as bad as we are. I think we are really bad, but I think the locker room still has a little bit of belief in the coaching staff, but not Wilkes. I know the defense has to be really upset with the scheme, the play calling in the big moments, us never being able to get a stop. And I think Glenn has to start coaching like that. I think we have to be a little bit more aggressive and taking chances on offense. Like when and maybe starting to think like that. I still think about that we denied that call. We're at 3rd and inches, or we took it back 5 yards to 2nd and 6, or 2nd and goal from the 6. Like, I would have went 3rd and inches and just tried twice to get a yard, but just go punting. We got to be more aggressive inside the 50. We really do.
They've been inconsistent with that too. It's like, dude, your defense sucks. Be aggressive. Like, you got to have a feel for the game, Glenn. This is the problem with a first-year coach, though. He's learning, and Woody's paying him millions of dollars to once again learn on his dime, and we suffer because we all could have saw this coming. Many of us.
Agreed. And I still will go back on the way he acted in the offseason is the reason that we are so down in the dumps, because
Correct.
We would find more positives, but we're not even looking at the positive. We would be harping on the refs screwing us so badly because the refs have been the officiating has been terrible, and we would be harping at like how often we're shooting ourselves in the foot on offense, and instead we're at rock bottom, and it feels terrible. I don't see us beating. I don't even see us really coming close to the Broncos unless we get some turnovers. That's the only way I could see us in the game, is because we haven't gotten one single turnover, and I feel like you get one break, one fumble in the positive part where we're in scoring position. Just that can change the game. And we've been in so many games with trying to have to come back. Give us one break, fellas. Get one fucking turnover. Just give me something, man. We're not even sniffing a turnover, like not even getting our hand. Besides like the Sauce Gardner pop up against the Bills that he didn't grab in like week 1 where Stevens had in his hands and Michael Carter, we haven't even sniffed it. So we got a lot to go, and 0-6 going into our celebration together, Jake.
It's sad, Monty. It really is sad. The thing is, like, the only positive is, I keep coming back to this because like it's all I really have. There's a lot of games left in his first year, and he's not going to get fired in season. So that means he gets an opportunity to try and turn this around to the best of his ability. Like, is he going to be able to do it? I don't know, but like, we could use Tony Dungy started 0-5 and all these coaches, but it's like, how many coaches are just bad? They never get better too. If you're going to play that game, we need to see some improvement, and the improvement can't be you win 2 of your last 3 in December. So instead of being a 1-win team, you're a 3-win team. But we won 2 of our last 3. It's like, dude, stop it. We know December and January games lie late in the year. Doesn't mean anything, especially if the Bills rest all their starters that last game. So there's a lot of work to be done for Glenn to try and get people to feel any sort of positive vibe with this team going forward.
One win will already just make everything feel better. Just we can be 1-5.
It will calm things down for a week if you can get a win.
Exactly. It'll give us a week of smiles, a week of just not what it's been with this shit show. And I'm with you, man. I'm so, every time I see any type of Jets fan who may not be as hardcore as all of us, but I'll see him outside at the food store because I'm still rocking my shit all the time. Everyone says, well, the Detroit Lions. That's all we talk about. Oh, the Detroit Lions. It's like, all right, well, if it happens, Glenn's gonna harp on it too. And I pray that we all said, man, Detroit Lions. It was true. I can only hope. I can only fucking hope, man.
They conveniently leave out the fact that the 2021 Lions had far less talent than the 2025 Jets do.
Exactly. We came in, and that's why Glenn was so confident, because we had so much talent left on the roster from my man Joey 3 Legs. You guys see that? Hey Jake, I just want to say thanks again. Coming through on the raffle tickets, man. Me, Sonny, Joe, Bonesy, we're gonna be there, baby. We're gonna get there early. My son has a flag football game Sunday morning that I'm skipping because the best part of hanging out with the fellas is before the game starts. So
yes.
I ain't there when the game starts. I got to get there nice and early so we can have some fun and some good memories. So
yeah, the tailgate will definitely be the best part of the day, without a doubt. Nick Shine wrote in, poor Bonesy kids having to see dad be negative. Breaks my heart.
You ain't lying. Sonny, who is really became a diehard Jets fan, it doesn't hurt him. It doesn't hit him yet. But when he sees me, he just keeps asking, like, "Daddy, why are you so wrong? What's wrong with you?" Like, it's like, dude, man, you don't get it yet, buddy. But good. Let's keep these smiles because Daddy's hurting, man. Daddy's hurting.
Bonesy, hang in there, and maybe this weekend you'll be able to fall on a fumble, or your wife will.
I pray to the gods. I pray to the gods. For me, it's that time of the month where I'm not getting no fumbles, but hopefully the Jets can get some fumbles. You know what I'm saying?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why he's the reigning champ.
We literally can't even fall on a fumble. I mean, my wife accidentally falls on my dick one time a week, and we can't fall on a fumble?
Holy shit already. Will you stop it with the bad language?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
What a moment in time. All right. That's one extraordinary phone call. Can we get another extraordinary call?
Extraordinary day today. Just extraordinary. Truly extraordinary. This is truly, truly extraordinary. I mean, it's extraordinary. It is extraordinary. 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 What up, Jake?
Hello, Gary.
How are you?
I've been better. The Jets stink. The Yankee season is over.
Well, at least the Yankees tried their best, Jake. At least they tried their best.
They did. They actually did this thing called make the playoffs.
Yeah, what's that like? That must be fun. I don't really know. I'm a Mets, Jets, and a Nets fan. I don't really know what that's like. Must be fun. Which, like Bonesy said, if we get one win, it'll feel better. Will it though? Will it? It's kind of like banging a pig. Is it really going to make you feel better, or is it just going to make things worse? Right? I mean, look, if we get one win, let's say we lose this week.
Well, if it's this week we're talking about, they beat Denver in London. That's a really good win.
Yeah, but let's say we lose this week and it's next week.
It makes the Jets the best team in the league, Gary. If you think about it, right? The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs. Denver beat Denver beat the Eagles. If the Jets beat the Broncos, by the transitive property, the New York Jets are the best team in football.
Yeah, and math. Yeah, I know. We call that boxing math. It doesn't always work that way, right? You know, Margarito beats Cotto. Cotto beats Mosley. Mosley destroys Margarito. It doesn't really work that way. But anyway, I'm losing my train of thought here. What I'm saying is, I'm never rooting for losses. I'm not rooting for my Nets to lose. But at what point is it better to lose? Like, what point is like you're looking at Lenore Sellers at number one, being, you know what, we have a realistic shot at that. These wins are kind of meaningless after an 0-6 start. I'm not rooting for it. I'm just asking a question.
I don't think we're there yet, right? Because it's a new coaching staff. Like, they got to show us something, right? Like, there's multiple quarterbacks in this draft, and we've gone through this exercise so many times where you could find quarterbacks all over the first round. You don't need to just be in the top 3 to get your guy. You need to find out if you have a coach that could take that quarterback and put them in a spot where they have success. So I want to see progress, man.
Yeah, that's a good. If you get the quarterback, and then Glenn's not the guy, then you're going to bring in a new head coach. You're going to bring in a new OC. You're going to have this. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of a mess unless you get the coach right? Like, the coach is kind of the foundation. Like, it's the foundation of the house. Nothing gets built until the foundation gets built. That's a fair point. It's at the point now where I'm losing interest in the season, and it's October. What is it? October 8th, and there's nothing to look forward to anymore. Like, it's painful to watch. It's not fun anymore to be a Jets fan. It's not fun. The last 2 months of the Mets season, every day was excruciating, right? You knew they were going to lose. And I'm getting that feeling with the Jets. I just wanted them to play meaningful games in December. You know what I'm saying? If they don't make the playoffs, they don't make the playoffs. But have games where you're still looking at the standings saying, if we win and they lose, it's possible. Like, give me meaningful games. It's October, and we're out of meaningful games. It sucks. And I'm not looking forward to the draft, but like, that's the next meaningful thing on our schedule is the draft. Like, there's nothing left of the season. I heard the beginning part of yesterday's show, the morning show. Mimosa got kicked out of the stadium. What happened there?
Apparently she got into it with a Cowboys fan who was talking trash to her.
Is it a man or a woman?
I believe it was a man.
She got into. She got. I'm guessing she didn't get into a physical fight, or did she get into a physical fight?
Well, she got tossed from MetLife. All we know is that she smacked a hat off a Dallas fan that was talking a lot of crap and was making things personal.
Okay. She's lucky the guy's not a psychopath. Like, what if the guy's a psychopath that hits her in the face? You know, you don't know who you're confronting. You know, that's why women need to be married, Jake. Because your husband can handle that. Well, seriously, what if the guy's a nut job? What if she smacks the hat up the Cowboys fan? The Cowboys fan's a lunatic and punches her.
So say she's married and she's not at the game with her husband. Then what, Gary?
Well, you should be at the game with your husband. Why wouldn't you be at the game with your husband?
Why? Maybe he was unavailable. Maybe she went with a different friend.
Well, then go to a different game.
So she can only go to a game if she's with her husband.
I would. I mean, she can do whatever she wants. But I'm saying, what is smart, right? Like, what behooves you? Like,
what do you mean? What is smart? How often do you get into a fight? Maybe this was a one-off.
I don't know what happened. I can't comment on anything that happened. But I'm saying,
so your comment, like, where's her husband, is like, we don't know any of the information.
Well, what I do know is if your husband was there, he would handle that. I promise you. I promise you, if your husband is there, that guy's not smacking the hat off your head, or whatever happened. I don't know what happened. She smacked the hat off his head. So what did he do? Was he just like being loud and boisterous, like being an annoying fan, or what triggered that?
I don't know. Garrett Mimosa has not called in.
Okay, we need to. I need to hear the story. I'm actually intrigued now. But this is why women shouldn't be alone. This is why women, at the end of the day, you still need a man for your protection.
Where are you flying to, Gary?
So I'm flying to Philly, but I'm flying to Atlanta. So I'm going to Atlanta, then to Philly. So this flight is to Atlanta.
Well, enjoy yourself, I suppose.
I will. Yeah, that's it. Is there any point in the season where you start rooting for? I don't even say rooting for losses, but rooting for the number one pick. Is there any point that happens?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when that exact moment is, Gary, but if it's like late in the year, I don't even know if I'd be rooting for the number one pick. I'd be rooting for being bad so Woody wakes up and cleans house if it got to that point. We actually can get a real head coach in here. Because if this team is in position to get the number one pick, Aaron Glenn should not be the head coach / GM overseeing it. That's how I feel. Right? So if they're that bad, then I think there needs to be a coaching change. I don't think Glenn survives 2 wins or less. He shouldn't. 3 is borderline. This is going to be a brutal year, folks. Buckle up. As Maniac Madness might start December 1st this year. Nick Shine says we get turnovers as often as Charles gets laid. Damn. Nick Shine going up and in on Gorman. But can you blame Nick Shine? The things he's done for that man, and for Gorman to turn around and become a Colts fan?
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Ralphie says last meaningful game was the Bucs game. Yeah, because that dropped him to 0-3. Really, the Dolphins game was still kind of meaningful, Ralphie, because of how bad the AFC is this year, right? The Ravens are in flux. You have all the injuries to some teams with their quarterbacks, right? The Bengals. Like that was probably the last true meaning game, but now we're just talking about how bad is it going to get. I thought Tom Ace had a great comment here. The season is still relevant because we don't know how much worse it will get. Yeah, I mean, like, how bad does this get? That's unfortunately what we're looking at. Is there improvement? Sam, I just want you to know I see your super chat here, and I sent your message again to Matthew Volpe, who's handling our tickets, so he'll get that, and we'll make sure we get them to you. But you are accounted for, my friend, and you're in the raffle for 2. Oh, he goes, Volpe came through, got the tickets just now. Thanks again. Awesome. You got it, Sam. Appreciate that. I'm actually texting with Volpe right now, so I'm literally going to send him the screenshot of the show and your comment. Fantastic. All right. Hit the like button if you haven't. Green Gang says, Glenn said, put your seatbelt on and get ready for the ride. Yeah, the ride to hell, baby. Choo choo. All aboard the lane train, but we're going down under. Glenn also said this at the combine when asked if this is a rebuild.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
Yeah, when does the winning start? Big fella says, Jake, I've never been to a tailgate. Did we get tickets, wristbands? Big fella, you were at the tailgate last year with Gotham City Crew. I believe we'll get wristbands for everyone, though. And that wristband will get you access to the all-you-can-eat food and drink for the non-alcoholic stuff. It would include alcohol, too, but you could blame New Jersey State Police for cracking down on organized tailgates. Ridiculous. Oregon Jed says, if we fired Glenn right now, we would be better by dinner time. I don't know about that one. Who's the interim head coach? Steve Wilkes? Nick Shine says, you find me that day, I'll have them. Yo Home says, one more week till paper bag Carolina Sunday. Yeah. Once again, I'm putting out a request. Can anyone make me a green and white paper bag? I'll wear it to the Panthers game. Ladies and gentlemen, today's closer is a man we love. We respect. Some of us definitely fear him. He's a guy that always can take the temperature of what's happening in this community. And when we need to chill out, he's always ready for a Cho session.
Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho.
Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in.
Big Cho.
I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles.
We're talking about Big Cho.
My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
I put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands earlier. Came home just chilling.
Big Cho.
Jake.
Big Cho.
What's up? I'm rocking the Jake Asman shirt.
It looks good on you, Cho.
Appreciate it. No problem. No problem. Hey, couple things I was going to ask you about. I did what you said on the Discord and put out there that I have an extra ticket for sale. So somehow they can get in touch with you so you can get in touch with me.
Well, they would get in touch with you, but you don't seem like you're a very technologically sound, Big Cho, so I'll take matters in my own hands for you. Spencer Green says, Cho, I inquired about your ticket. Spencer Green wants to buy your extra ticket to the game, Big Cho.
Okay. That'll work. Yeah, I'm not that good with the technology stuff, so if you can help me out, I would appreciate it.
Now, you got both tickets sent to you, Big Cho, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so can you only accept one of them and transfer the other one back to me, and I'll work it out with Spencer off air?
Well, last week I accepted both because I thought that's what you told me to do.
Okay, so you have both. You're going to have to transfer one to Spencer. So you're going to have to go into the Ticketmaster app and hit the transfer button.
Okay. All right. Let me know when.
Whenever. Just send it back to my email that you've been emailing me at.
Okay. The other thing also with the tailgate, I came across a problem with the Venmo. One Nick's phone number, the last four.
Right.
So what do you do?
Just Venmo it. It's him.
Okay. So just disregard the four.
Just if it looks like Nick Shine, it is Nick Shine.
Okay. It looks like him.
He also gave out his last 4 digits on the air to you yesterday, but you didn't remember.
I didn't hear it. So I'll just disregard it.
Nick Shine says there's no issue. Right below that, you could click send without verifying.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do that.
All right.
That's not a problem.
Georgie writes in, hey, chump, the Commander show is not here.
You know, I don't know why he doesn't call in. Do you think he's a troll?
I'm not sure.
I wonder if he's going to show up to the tailgating thing, because I'll be there.
You guys going to have a show off?
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Jake. I'm not going to let anybody call me a chump to my face. Now, I don't want to cause any problems, but I'm just telling you straight up. You know, I grew up in the streets of D.C. I don't play that mess.
I think you got him, Joe. You'll take him down.
I mean, I'm not playing at all, Jake. I'm being for real. So if somebody's calling me a chump, that means he wants to be hit.
You going to knock him out?
Yeah, but I don't want to get in trouble.
I won't tell anyone.
All right. The thing I want to discuss with you today is, you know, I don't have heated conversations because I'm just a chill person. But, you know, it probably stems from me being a college basketball coach. I don't think you should get rid of Glenn.
I don't think they should either, but if they're 1-16 or 2-15, don't you have to have the conversation?
Yeah, I think you have to have the conversation. The only way that I would change is if, like, I think either you or somebody else in the chat brought up, I think it was you, that say like John Harbaugh is available and he wants to take the job, and you know he wants to take the job because you have to have the bird in the hand. Then I would think about making a change. But if I didn't have anybody and I had to go searching, I think you give the guy a chance.
Well, if he's this bad, though, I don't care if it's Harbaugh available or anyone. I'm not keeping a coach just because I don't want to make a change. Like, if it got to that point where they continue to look like this, see you later.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, when we played at Miami, and then last week we played against Dallas, you know, he didn't fumble the ball.
No, but these things keep happening, which is the sign of a poorly coached team. The penalties, 23 of the last 2 games, poorly coached team. The kick returner, not knowing the rules, taking the ball out of the end zone instead of taking a knee, costing them 9 yards. These are all signs of a poorly coached team that's gotten worse since the outlier game, which was the first game.
Well, what do you think about this? What if he needs to bring in his own people?
He did bring in his own people. He hired the entire coaching staff.
I'm talking about players.
He retained a lot of the same players. He didn't have to, and he didn't bring in anyone with him from the Lions, player-wise, besides Josh Reynolds, who played there 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he needs to get some new players.
Well, why didn't he do it this go-around?
Maybe he thought they would win with what he had. I don't know.
So why do I have to give this coach another year if he was completely wrong in his evaluation of the team and he didn't coach up the guys that he thought were talented?
I don't know. Again, it might just be because I'm a coach and I don't like to fire coaches, especially after 1 year. I think you give the guy a chance. That's just my opinion.
I get it. I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling that way. I just think this is a unique spot where, guess what? You have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Do you really want to put that quarterback in this situation where you have absolutely no faith in the head coach whatsoever? I don't. I'd rather move on and get a real offensive guy or an experienced guy, preferably both. Kevin Stefanski would be the ideal candidate, or Cliff Kingsbury, someone like that.
You're assuming that somebody would want to come to the Jets.
I think a lot of people would want to come to the Jets. It pays great. It's 1 of 32. You're set for life. The difference between a coordinator salary and a head coaching salary is astronomical.
Right. I don't know, man. I think 1 year is awful quick to get rid of a coach.
It is, but the Texans, they fired 2 coaches, each after 1 year, eventually landed on DeMeco Ryans. They've won 2 playoff games each of the last 2 years. The San Francisco 49ers had 3 coaches in 3 years, so they ended up with Kyle Shanahan. the Cardinals moved off of Steve Wilkes after a year for Cliff Kingsbury when they had the number 1 pick because they were going to take Kyler Murray. Like, there is precedent for this.
Right. No, I understand. I know where you're coming from.
I don't want them to do it, Big Joe, but I think if they win 1 game, I think you almost have to. I just don't think you could keep Glenn for another year.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to agree to disagree, but, I respect your opinion.
Hey, this one is from the big fella. He wants to know, did you drop the dead weight Shania?
No. That's a long story. Long story. I don't know what I'm going to do.
What's on the agenda today, Big Joe?
Well, as you know, my back is bad, so most of the time I'm resting up so that I don't trigger electrical current down my leg. Yesterday I went to practice for the first time in a while, so it was good to see the guys and the coaches. They were glad to see me. But most of the time I'm just resting so I can make sure I can make the trip. I don't think, if you've never had nerve pain, I don't think people understand how bad the pain is. Jake.
Joe.
You heard me?
I heard you.
Yeah, so if you've never had it, you don't know how bad it feels. So I found out yesterday my operation is November 18th, 40 days from today. So they can go and infuse L5S1 to take the nerve pain away.
So 40 days until you become a healthy man again, Big Joe. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'll be excited. I just got to gut out these trips. But I'm still looking forward to coming. The likelihood of me coming up, we being 0-6 is pretty high. But I'm still going to come to the tailgate, and I'm still going to pull for the Jets and have my Jets gear on.
We're going to be there for the first win of the season, Big Joe.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Gator writes in, will getting in a fist fight with an asthmaniac potentially postpone the surgery?
Yeah, but you know what? Do you consider Georgia asthmaniac, or do you consider him a troll?
Well, to be fair, Nate is in this chat every day.
Who?
Nate.
I'm not talking about Nate.
He's a troll, and he's an asthmaniac.
Oh, Nate's a troll?
Oh, yeah, big troll.
What's your definition of a troll?
Georgie, Bill Clinton, New Q, Nate, Ted, NY Jets, Florida.
Okay, so what do they do to have to be a troll?
Just read their comments and you'll understand, Big Joe. You'll get it.
Well, I know you threw somebody in the attic the other day, or not the attic, the dungeon. Or something he said. Was it Ted?
No, I threw Doug in the hole.
Oh, yeah, Doug. What did he say?
He said maybe Namath needs to die for the Jets to be good.
Oh, that was today. That was stupid. I was talking about yesterday. You said somebody in the hole. I thought it was Ted, but maybe I'm wrong.
Peter Castro says, Nick can't wait to pick you up.
Why does Gator always going there? Nick's not picking me up. I told you my lady friend's picking me up. I'm taking her to lunch.
That was Peter Castro.
Who?
Peter Castro.
Who was that?
He's a listener who commented that.
Oh, he's the one that says, when is Nick picking me up?
He said Nick is excited to pick you up.
No, Nick's got some family thing going on Saturday. Doesn't he have one of his family members has a birthday or something?
I've never bought that story from the beginning.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. Like I told you, I'm catching up with the old lady friend of mine that I've known for 34 years. She's gonna pick me up and catch up, take her out to lunch. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm not worried about that.
Excellent.
Yeah, gotta kick it with the ladies.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say this to you, though, Big Joe.
Yo. Calm your freaky down. I got you. I know you like kicking it with the ladies, don't you, Jake?
Not as much as you, Big Joe.
Yeah. There's been a history, a long history. You coming back this afternoon?
Is it a day that ends with a Y?
Is that a yes?
You bet your sweet ass, Big Joe.
When you gonna be back on the radio?
Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I had got a text from you. It was like a general text. It's like an announcement saying that you were hoping the Asmaniacs would call between 8 and 9 while you were by yourself to talk about the Jets. I need to remember to get up and call you.
Anytime you want, Big Joe. Anytime you want.
Sorry for your Yankees, even though I'm not a fan.
Well, thank you, Big Joe.
I'm a Baltimore Oriole fan, so you can feel my pain.
What hurts more, being an Orioles fan or your back?
I think being an Orioles fan. Maybe being a Jets fan right now. What about you? Are you in pain?
I'm in pain every day.
But you keep it moving, though. You keep the show going. You keep the Asmaniacs going. I mean, you keep it moving.
That's right, Big Joe. That's right.
That's what you got to do. We need somebody like you to keep it moving.
Big Joe, you're an inspiration to us all.
I do my best. I'm looking forward to meeting you and the rest of the Asmaniacs on the 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Joe.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but.
Thank you, Big Joe. All right. 2 calls left, then raffle. Dre Day. Hello, Dre Day. Yes.
What's going on, Jake?
Yes, that's what I need for the Panther game.
I'll bring it up there, man. It ain't even a bag. It's a box, bro. So I can bring it up there, man. It's not nice. Spit it out for you, bro. You got any more tickets left to that game, or I can get more.
Well, Big Joe is he's trying to sell his extra ticket because his friend can't join him now. I don't know if Spencer Green's going to buy it. I haven't heard, but we definitely have at least one ticket.
All right, yeah. I'll probably eBay, see what's going on with it. I could probably get that tomorrow if you want to sell it.
Sounds good. Are you in my Discord, Dre Day?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll figure it out in there after. Either Spencer will buy it or you'll buy it. I think it's $165 is what it costs.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I ain't really got nothing too much to say about the Jets. There ain't too much to say. I just got my box.
The box says it all. The box says it all.
Much. Yes, sir. Yeah. Even be wearing it at work. I made it at work, so I'll be wearing it at work too. Fuck it. Damn Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dre Day. Oh, yeah.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but.
Excellent. Ryan McCarthy with a super chat. I heard some speculation that Big Joe is so chill that his resting heart rate is in the single digits. Tom says they sell those on Fanatics now, the box. We need that. Gator says getting Bates can't even put a smile on Dre Day anymore with these Jets. Brutal. Dre Day, that was a great call, man. Sad to see you in the dumps. John says, how low has this team in season gotten? This is the lowest I think it's ever been, because as bad as they were in 2020, you knew there was light at the end of the tunnel. They were going to fire Gase, and they were in position to get a quarterback. Now, some wanted to keep Sam, but most Jet fans were resided to the fact that they ruined him, and it was probably time to move on, and they got a good return for him. It was time to start fresh with a new coach. Most of us felt that way. There was hope. It was like a new coach could come in. You knew that was coming. We don't know that's coming with Glenn. How bad does this get? Crazy. All right, one last call here. Ladies and gentlemen, get up close to your camera. It's time.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
Hello, David.
Hey, I think Coach is on to something there. In addition to throwing people in the hole, maybe you can start throwing them in the attic and letting Beast lecture them about, the Jet situation and all.
That might be a good video for Gator. Instead of going to the hole, you have to spend time in Beast's attic.
It's funny, Jake, because when people bring stuff up and you think, yeah, Gator could do something with this, it's like it immediately comes to my mind, That's how I'm hooked on everything. But anyway, I actually just got onto your show and Coach was on, and I just want to commend him. His back situation. My dad had a number of back surgeries through the years, and I didn't know the kind of pain, but I was around him all the time, and his attitude was terrific, and kept everything going. And but Coach, just the fact, and I believe Coach says he needs a fusion surgery in November. Just the fact that he's going to go up to the game, travel and go through all that pain and everything. That's a true Jet fan.
We are we're a different level of fanatics for this team, David. There's no doubt. And the people that tune in the show, you see it every day.
I do, and it's I to this day I'm so thankful how I got to hooked on your show and the whole bit, and it's phenomenal, and yes, the people are just the passion for the Jets and everything, but all around good people with great attitudes,
there's no doubt that the community and the Jet fan experience, it's the fans that make the experience any good. The actual team does nothing, yet they get undying loyalty from so many of us, and they don't deserve it.
Yeah, and don't forget, Jake. Don't take this wrong, but you're our leader. You're the leader of the Asmaniacs, and you hold it all together when people are maybe not seeing eye to eye. You kind of you get people on, and we mend things, and it's like families argue and all that, but we all end up hanging together.
That's what we do, David T. And I had a chance to hang out with you in person in Tampa, but you couldn't find the right tailgate.
Well, I'm not saying I pride myself, but I was never the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, and and you know what? I still, honestly, Jake, I still think back to it, and it's like, I got there, they got me over there in the general area, and I I didn't think to call somebody or get on the chat or whatever, and I was a little upset by then, and I'm going from Jets, Jets tailgate to tailgate. As a matter of fact, one or two of them said, if you can't find it, come back here and tailgate with us, But I gave it the old college try, and But we're going to work on it for next year. Maybe I'll get a little smarter by then.
Ladies and gentlemen, David T.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
I'll say $32,000. $32,000. Yeah. All right. Good luck. Good luck.
All right, time for the raffle, baby. Here we go.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, only one can win a Garrett Wilson jersey. If you win, we need your name. We need your address. We need the color preference. And we need your size. AsmanJake@gmail is where you send that information. If you don't email me, well, you can't get the jersey. I don't know where to send it. Or any of the other info. So, I want to say good luck to everyone who entered. If you don't win, maybe you win on Tuesday in our weekly series. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of a G5 jersey is... King Kev, you're the winner. AsmanJake@gmail. Email me. He gifted one membership. That was all it took today. King Kev, you're a winner. Hit the Jet chant. Yeah. Congrats, King Kev. Thanks for your support. Thank you again to everyone who entered. One last super chat. Nick Shine, channel member for 16 months, using his free Asmaniac super chat you get. How about an in-season tournament of Gators videos to determine the best one? We need content and reasons to laugh come November. Also, F you, Nate. I like it. Gators best videos. An in-season tournament. But unlike the NBA's in-season tournament, we will actually care about this one on our channel. Not a bad idea, Nick Shine. Not a bad idea. All right, that does it for me. We are back in the afternoon. DT, Dylan Terraman, will join us in his usual Thursday spot. So I am certainly looking forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are the absolute greatest. The show would not be the show without you. Reminder, subscribe to the podcast if you ever missed the YouTube show live. Join my Patreon if you want behind-the-scenes content, bonus shows, your name added to the intro, merch store discounts year-round, and the best perk of all, the Discord. All that and more is available by going to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Again, thank you all for watching. We will talk to you soon. JETS, Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is someone with the greatest camera quality you will ever see. Robert C. is up next. Hello, Robert.
So I try to pull up your channel on YouTube. What the Jets need to do is win.
Robert, thank you for the call. I don't know if that's your camera, if you're hanging out with Weed the People, if you're in a sauna, but that was great.
Let's put myself in these goddamn situations.
Nah. Bimbo boomy, bimbo bimbo boomo bop, bimbo bop, bimbo bop, bimbo boomy, bimbo bimbo boomo bop.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you gotta make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.